The Clashing Conferences Podcast. Let's go.
All right, we are done the raucous pre-meeting show. Welcome back to Clashing Conferences Podcast. We are the Clashing Conferences Network. Check us out at theclashingconferences.com. Get on there. You can join Patreon. Simple as filling out a form, getting on here. We're got some new people last week. Little thank you to our guest, Kyle Montgomery, who I hear is joining the network. So expanding every day and all the time. Looking forward to getting even more people on here and part of it. So go through both the games real quick last week. We had in the non-NFC East game, we had Kansas City once again beating Buffalo, and a tough another loss for those Bills, man. I'm glad we don't have Bills fans here. 32-29. Oh, he's more of a Josh Allen fan.
We got Chris.
Close enough.
Oh,
Josh Allen lover.
Gotcha.
I have to say, I felt bad for freaking Josh Allen.
He was
Holy
defeated.
cow, that guy looks sad. And out of somebody who played their heart out.
Yeah.
More bad calls.
You do
More bad calls.
that one where he threw it up at the end and it was totally catchable for Kincaid. That was unreal.
Yeah.
Like
The
effort by Josh
blitzed him.
Allen. I mean, it really wasn't even Josh Kincaid's fault. It was that was just a really good by both of them, but the entire Chiefs team was playing perfect.
Yeah.
All they got to do is I guess got to do it one more week.
You keep
Repeat,
They
baby.
will.
hoping,
They
Chris.
will.
In the big matchup for us here, we had
I'm hoping, baby.
Hey, Chris. Chris,
Philadelphia putting up the double
hold your fingers
nickel,
up.
55
Like Brunson does.
on the Washington Commanders, 23 for them. Big loss, but I don't think Paul's got any complaints on his season this year. Commanders came in, we're probably hoping to just be 500 and compete and have a good rookie quarterback going to the NFC Championship is a hell of a year for you, Paul. So,
and him not getting injured is an impacting next year and getting the yips. All of that was avoided.
in the internal competition, which is almost wrapped up, not quite. We got Randy leading with 66 points, 8-4 on his picks throughout the playoffs. So that is Nostradamus at his finest. Greg,
Another skill-based match that I'm taking the lead on.
yourself as the best skill-based person in this group.
That's because you never go with your heart. You must not have a heart. I don't know what it is.
It's called a brain. It's called
Paul
a brain,
didn't go
Chris.
with
It's a
his
little
heart,
higher,
and that left
matters
him
a
in
little
third
more.
here. Greg at 63, Paul at 58, Chris down there at 44. And
That's what my heart got me. 44.
that's terrible. Let's I guess Greg, you're you've been leading off a lot this year, but let's go right to you. You got the last team standing. You're going up against Chiefs next week. You're going to be 1.5 point underdog. Spell it. Can you spell it?
Can't believe
Now spell it.
Four touchdown, 1, 2, 3, baby.
E.
Oh,
S,
what a
G.
week! What a week! Double nickel, baby. Oh, I've been telling you boys all year this team is special, and you guys
Still
have been
doubting
doubting us all year, every single week.
still
And
doubt
you're
you.
still doubting us.
And
And
I got another week left.
that's why we love it. We love it. We love it. We just hang 55 on the Redskins, Washington. Just taking in the game. I mean, I can't
Is that what
take
they get?
anything
Is that
away
what they
from
get for
kid.
hanging stuff on Rocky?
No,
From
we'll
stuff.
get into that in a little bit. I just want to
That is a bad omen.
sing
Never
some
works.
praises.
Go for five.
Sing some praises.
Yeah, you
I
can't
think-
touch that thing, man.
I think the coaching staff down in DC is good. And Paul hit the nail on the head in our before meeting when he talked about Cliff, and he's not going anywhere. These boys are going to be tough next year. They got a really good coaching staff. They got a solid nucleus. Some of their older players are a little bit older, but Washington is a good team.
Currently have the best quarterback in the division.
I mean, if you want to say he's the best after 18 games, That's fine. I can't say that he's not the best, but I'm not going to say he
20
is
games.
the best. Okay, 20 games. He had a good year, but you want to talk about that. So I have two guys that I want to compare to, and I'm going to give you some stats.
One of them better not be Trevor Lawrence.
So 460 attempts. You have 306 completions with a 67% completion rate, 3,700 yards with 22 touchdowns and 6 INTs with 760 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. And then the other player is 480 attempts, 331 completions, which is about a 68%. So very similar in completion rate, but only has 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions. And then 891 rushing yards with 6 touchdowns. And I will tell you, one of them is Daniels. The other one is Jalen Hurts from 2022. And apparently, if Hurts sucks, then Daniels sucks too. But the point that I'm trying to make is Daniels had a very similar season to Hurts did in 2022 when he was doing what he needed to do and had a great year and was an MVP candidate. So what I'm trying to show you is,
Yeah, but that was his
I got
rookie
the
year.
whole national. No, what you're right, it was. So what I'm
Hurts
trying to
got a
prove
stacked
is
team and the best offensive line in football.
he didn't in 2022. He didn't have a stacked team.
Probably the best offensive
Didn't
line
have a
in football.
running back.
You had the
That
best
had
running.
good receivers
You had a great offensive line,
and a
which made your
decent
running back.
offensive line.
Right,
Agreed.
and he had good
100%.
receivers. He had
And you don't think
2022.
Washington has good receivers?
They got
saying.
one.
They got
Okay.
one. Who'd you have? You had Smitty, right? You had
AJ
And
Brown
AJ. So we had two.
you had
and
two of the
Dallas
top-
Goddard.
Yeah, and
and
you
one of
have
the best
you have
offensive
Ertz,
lines in the NFL.
and Washington's offensive line is good too. So my
It's
point
decent.
that I'm
It's
trying
decent.
to take is
It's
those
decent.
numbers are similar. They're not as good as Jalen's numbers.
Paul's
but
like, I don't
they're
even
not
got to
bad.
argue. These guys are going to argue for my team.
No, and that's fine. I guess my point is, and we'll review the game in a minute, but it's like as soon as we win, it's like Jalen can't do this, Jalen can't do this, Jalen can't do
dude,
that.
Greg, when
Jalen
you-
goes out, runs for 3 touchdowns, throws for a tutty, 250.
No, Jalen Hurts had a great- he had a
110
great game.
rating, and it's like, oh well, he still sucks. Well, what do you mean he sucks? That's what we've been dealing with all year. Barkley's going to get hurt. Oh, he's injury prone. He's
Well,
going to
that'll
get
be
hurt
next
by
year
week
now.
3. No one touches him until he's 20 yards down the field. He hasn't taken any hits. He has the most rushes that he had in his whole entire career, and he's not hurt. You know why he's not hurt? Because he's not taking hits. So it's like, and I turn on the news today, and it's like, all of a sudden now it's like, oh, Kansas City's not going to have a problem. They're going to outscore
Kansas
the
City's
Eagles
healthy.
by 30.
Could happen.
Do we not have the best defense out there? So it's like, I love it, and this
It
is
don't
what
matter against
fuels my
Mahomes.
fire. What do you mean it doesn't matter against
Not
Mahomes?
against Mahomes,
We played
it
him
don't
2
matter.
years ago when he was healthy and a better
And you lost.
quarterback.
He wasn't
We-
healthy. I think he had a bad ankle that game, and they were on the same crappy field that you cried about. So
Yeah,
he did good on it too. Both quarterbacks
he did
had.
good on it, Chris.
Your quarterback had a great performance that
Yeah,
game,
but-
except for the
but-
fumble at halftime.
But
So
Mahomes didn't, and that's kind of my point. Like, so it's like you guys got to pick your poison. So
he don't
Barkley's
put
either
big
gonna
numbers
run-
up all year. Look at his
Bar-
numbers all year. He really don't. He hasn't really been doing that, but he does it in the key moments. Like he always does it in the key moments.
And then you say that, but then like 20 minutes ago, it was Bills got robbed. It was the refs. It wasn't Mahomes. It was the refs. So
Look,
like you
that-
are like speaking out your mouth and your
When that
ass
game
at the
was
same time.
22, when that game was 22-21, and the play before the what you called the tush push thing, even the tight end got the first down. He got it.
agree with that.
They spotted it wrong, and then he was clearly over the line. Like he had the first down. Who knows what happened if the Bills go down and score on that drive? So he did get
And-
screwed there.
I agree, but the outcome is the outcome.
It is.
So it's like, you take it with what it is. But going back to the Eagles game, I think the Eagles played great. It was one of those moments, Chris just sent me a clip not too long ago, another national media guy, yelling at Jalen for yelling at his coach for the straitjacket comment. It's like, it's great because
James
it's
Jones.
like there's always
Jones,
something that someone picks at and just hates us. Sean Wright today,
Yeah, but
huge Chiefs fan, by the way.
Right, that
is-
guy brought up a really good point, though.
What was the point?
How many? When you say like 200 yards is a very low baseline of passing for a quarterback in a game?
It happens a lot though anymore.
Not if
You
your
don't
team
need,
put up
you don't need to
55
throw
points.
for 300 yards.
But but his question of how many
True.
200-yard games did Jalen Hurts have of more than 200 yards this
Randy,
year?
look at some of his
Two of
stats.
them?
There was games
I think he
where
had 9 in a
there was
row where he
games
did
where
not have
didn't
200
throw
yards.
over 15 times. Like, why? If you Barkley is running
But,
for
okay,
200 yards a game,
I don't
what do you
disagree
need
with
to do?
you. I don't disagree with you, but my comment would be it's the same Jalen Hurts as last year. The only difference is you got Saquon Barkley.
True.
Jalen Hurts still makes terrible decisions and sucks.
He doesn't.
But they
he has
have
not had an interception since
he hasn't
November.
had to. He hasn't had to. They
So
run the
then you
ball all the
can't tell me
time.
that he's turning the
Making
ball
terrible
over.
decisions.
when
I'm
he's
not.
turning the
I'm
ball
not.
over.
I'm not saying.
What are you talking about?
Okay. My
I think what
point
he's
is,
trying to say is what Jones was saying. He's saying that if they don't fear him. They're like shut
And that's
everybody.
fine. Neither
Yeah.
did the Steelers, and neither did
But-
Washington.
And that's all.
look
And that's what we were.
happened.
And that was our point all year about Barkley. Last year you were 1-7 in the second half of the year. We were saying if you took Barkley away, you would suck this year,
And
which
how'd
is
they-
stupid.
How'd they
So
end the
that-
season last year, Chris?
I told you already. They went 1-7 the end of
Who
the
beat
season.
him? Who beat him?
No, I meant the last game. What happened in the last game? What happened in the
Oh,
last,
the last game. Well, they got knocked out by
There you
Tampa,
go.
but in the regular season,
You're
the
a
Giants
moron.
beat them.
I'm trying to. This
I
is
know
the
what you're
biggest
trying to do,
alley-oop.
and I'm-
This is
Set
like the
you up for
Dwayne
a
Wade,
freaking-
LeBron
Oh, and the
James
best-
thing.
best
And I'm
part of all
deflecting
this
it on
is,
purpose. I know
if they
exactly
lose-
what you're doing.
If they lose, they get Jaden Daniels, but they won and now got nobody.
It wasn't that game. It was the 3-game win streak. I know it was stupid, but I wanted to win, and I ragged on Paul for it. But now I
So
want to
going
lose.
back to the game, we did what we needed to do. We had a quarterback go out and run for 3 touchdown tutties. We had our running back run for over $120 and 2 or 3 touchdowns.
He had 3.
AJ had 100 and a touchdown. It's like we put up 55. Like it is what it is, and people want to mouth off and say we're not good. Jalen Hurts
Easiest
has been,
road to the Super Bowl.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Nick Sirianni sucks as a coach, yet he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Like we love it. We fuel
The team
on it.
is stacked.
You
If you
want to
had a good quarterback and coach, you would be 2-0 in Super Bowls.
Yeah, you know what?
Now you're gonna be
There's
0-2
a
in
ton of
Super
teams
Bowls.
that are stacked out there that don't make it. Like we're talking earlier in the
Ravens.
season, Dallas is stacked. Ravens
Ravens is a
where
good
are they
example.
at? Where are they at right now?
Yeah, that's
Send
a
it
great
home. And
Got beat by the Bills.
You have to win the games that you're given. And that's what we did. And that's what we do. We haven't, it's insane that everyone
Sound
is
like
down
Herm
there.
Edwards. You have to win the game.
You play to win the
Play
game.
to win
So
the
it's
game.
like, and they keep doing these things and keep it. It's great because it makes bulletin board material for us. Not that we need it, but you want to go hang stuff on Rocky. The last 3 teams that did that went out and kicked their ass, and that's what happened this
Or
week.
if I
funny
was
when
an
you-
Eagles fan and I saw that you're 4-0 when that happens, I might throw that on there myself.
And who knows if that
That
actually
may
happened.
have happened. Yeah, I thought that too. But
You
I mean,
know,
what-
and
what-
it's
as soon
like-
as you
What's the downside in a Philly fan doing that? There's no downside whatsoever.
no 0 downside.
getting caught,
And then, no, it doesn't matter at that point because everyone's like, idiot ass, uneducated Philly fan.
We love it, and we're taking it and we're running it. There's T-shirts with Eagles spelled wrong. I almost bought one the other day just to wear it on the podcast. It's great. And then we have
like the
I'll be
cupcakes?
remiss if I didn't say this, but you have Teddy, Tailgate Teddy. That's like, oh, we're going to take over Philly, and Tailgate Teddy goes in and they took over the best sports bar in Philadelphia. The Hard Rock Cafe.
Never
really,
even
dude?
heard of the Hard
No
Rock
one goes to
Cafe
the
in
freaking
Philly.
Hard Rock Cafe. I didn't even know we had a Hard Rock Cafe. But the best part of Tailgate Teddy was he gets booed, he gets chirped on the way out, and then the fans find out that Tailgate Teddy actually was doing something for a good cause for, I believe it was one of his friends that died of cancer several years ago. So what do Philly fans do? But we donate to the cause. Since that article is run on Crossing Broad, the Philly fans have donated over $4,000 to Tailgate Teddy's cause. However, we're going to do it our way, and we're going to say,
By the way,
cancer
4,000 is
sucks.
not going to cure cancer. You need to do more.
Agreed. But Teddy had $2,000 in that account a week ago, and now the Philly fans are donating more. Anyway,
What
my
is there?
point is-
70,000 people at that stadium. What are you guys giving 10 cents each?
No,
I mean, good Lord.
actually good fans. We're giving them.
Let's move this team to West Virginia. This is the most backward team I've ever seen in my life.
Ask everybody who had a ticket give $2.
So my point is, you won't hear about us donating money to Tailgate Teddy, but and the comments are hilarious.
Well, that's why we got the Conferences podcast.
About the guy that climbed the pole in Philly and fell off and is now on life support.
Hear about that. You'll hear about our mayor that can't spell Eagles. You'll hear about the bad things.
The people eat manure.
The guy that ate horse crap a couple of years ago.
I
you won't hear about donating money.
Greg, if the
his
Eagles
name
win,
was
because you don't do it like the Bills do.
Crap?
The Bills go like Bills Mafia is the most like philanthropic like group of hooligans I've ever seen.
That's true.
Jumping through the tables and
but then they for Mark Andrews, they gave like $15,000 to and counting for.
I was thinking about something since like every one of our teams beat the Bills when they were trying to win a Super Bowl. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls. The Giants beat them, the Redskins beat them, the Cowboys beat them twice. If they would have beat KC, they would have played the Eagles.
That would have been nice.
Crazy. But I think the Bills would have beat you. So
No. I'm tired of being the guy in the conversation where all you guys say is, "Well, how many Super Bowls do you have?"
What?
Now, when we have 2, I'm going to be able to stay in front.
You'll
of
have 2/5 of what I have.
That's all right. I don't care.
We're
half
already
of
a pain
what
in the ass
Chris
with
and Paul
1,
has.
2 will be bad, but
Listen.
you're not getting to. Go ahead, let him listen.
Greg, Randy's about to call me the biggest Eagles fan, but I need you to specifically call out the people that say you only have 1 Super Bowl all the time.
That would be Randy and Chris.
But you feel left out, so you've only been relevant for like a couple years. Just want to let you know.
We've been playoff relevant for the last 20, and I love it.
You're always in the playoffs. You are.
No,
that's what I was
they're not
trying to tell
It's
you.
like my defense for the Braves. Like, for the 90s and the early 2000s, we won the pennant every time.
But you're ungrateful, and that's what I was telling you in your text message.
Who's ungrateful?
And I should have said it last week because, like, even during the season, like even when you guys were like 2-2, you were about Hurts and your coach. There was times you were already doing it, and like the years
it's
you
called
won.
The national media, dude.
Listen, but you too, it's Eagle fans. I work with them. I'm with them every day.
Wasn't fabricating the relationship between Sirianni
100%.
and Hurts.
I agree with that.
Graham was doing it on his podcast.
That's a scary situation.
Yeah.
5 games into the season to be in.
So
and what happened during the bye?
No, but fine. But listen,
Kumbaya,
that's why I brought up.
Made up.
That's why I brought up McNabb, the McNabb years and the Reed years, who you're getting ready to get beat by. You guys talk bad about him all the time. You talked bad about McNabb all the time.
He had 14 years with.
So next year, when you lose this Super Bowl and then Barkley gets hurt by week 4 and Hurts is throwing interceptions and you're all mad next year at these contracts, you're going to be hating them. Like you used to love Wentz and then you were running him out. That's why you guys are so unloyal.
Because
you're just unloyal.
The next year he came back and got a concussion and got knocked out. And what has he done since, Chris?
Yeah,
obviously,
so like
he's the greatest quarterback, right?
You wanted us to re-sign Barkley. He got hurt almost every single year, and he didn't really do anything like that for us. So why would we give him $14-15 million a year?
No one is going to ever defend you on that. You're never going to win
stupid.
that.
Why? Because he had a good year?
For you as a team.
Actually, yes.
It was not smart.
Normally put the best offensive line in the NFL in front of him, you will have a good year.
Right, but
they made Swift look good.
They made Shipley look good too.
You made a lot of people look good that weren't good. Barkley's a damn good running back, and he had the best offensive line.
He's amazing.
Right.
He's the best running back in the league right now.
Yeah, because you have a great offensive line. He wasn't when he was on the New York Giants.
Again, we have this conversation
Anthony Thomas
4 times this year.
Yeah, because
he was the only weapon on your team.
He wasn't the only player on our team.
He was the only weapon on your team.
The year we went to the playoffs and won the playoff game, we didn't go through Barkley.
Oh, that one
no, we did
go through.
No, we did not.
Who was Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
How many yards did he have in that playoff game?
Who? It was 309. He actually set an NFL record in that playoff game. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but he did. Go look it up right now. Get on there and look it up.
The point that I'm trying to make to you
look it up.
Your team is bad. You needed other surrounding
and they did the right thing. And everybody sent me memes all year how we were stupid for giving you Saquon Barkley over Daniel Jones.
Did you say it's foreshadowing because you're about to rinse and repeat it about 3 months?
We're not going to rinse. It's going to be. No, go ahead.
You're going to. Oh my God, you're going to be so bad. You're going to do everything you possibly could to screw this up.
After a game between Greg's Eagles and Paul's Commanders. We've spent the first 15 minutes of this first half with the defenders being
That's
Randy and Chris fighting against Greg. Paul, you wanna jump in here
They're
at
just
all and
haters.
I
actually
brought
talk
that
about
up.
your team? Maybe either the game or the year you
I
had,
would
or
love to.
any insights on the Commanders 2024?
Absolutely. It was an amazing year, in and out. It didn't look like it was going to be. We tried the rookie quarterback thing last year and gave up on it real quick. I probably wouldn't have advised that, but with the new coaching staff, knew everything. I mean, they want their guy. If he's not your guy, he's not your guy. That's why Jahan Dotson had to go. I don't think he's really done all that much on the Eagles, but I mean, he definitely belongs on the Eagles more than he does us. Whole year was just an absolute enigma. I mean, I am going to party like it's 1991 up until first week next year, and I can't wait for it. Got all our coaches back, and it's not a bad coaching staff. A bunch of players are playing out of their mind and above their pay grades, and I'm looking to see what kind of free agents we can actually lure. Because again, we haven't had
A lot of money too.
Yeah, we haven't had like good free agents since we made that awful decision to lure Albert Hainsworth from the Titans. And it took him 3 weeks to pass the physical. But
Didn't you guys
people
give him
wanna
like
go
the
there,
first $100
and
million
that's amazing.
contract ever too, or something crazy? It was some crazy number.
Yeah. And all he had to do was pass the physical, and he walks out there like takes 2 steps, farts, and falls over, and it's like, well, that's just not going to cut it. You're actually going to have to do something. And then he was just a diva cancer the whole freaking time. But no, the whole season was great. Jaden Daniels, I'm not saying I'm glad we lost or don't get the Super Bowl, but the amount of pressure that would have been on him if he had gotten too much farther, they would have crowned him as having the best rookie season ever. There can't be anything more than what he's done. He's going to have to play exactly at that level, and nothing else will be acceptable. I mean, I guess I'm glad that I'm not in one of the like LA, New York, Philly kind of markets where you do not have any room for missteps whatsoever. Once they crown you, anything less is absolutely unacceptable, and we'll let you know about it. The cohesion on the team has been incredible. It's literally the opposite of the Eagles.
They have
We're just going to
great
let that sit
cohesion
there.
when
Just
they're
pause
winning.
right there for that.
You can never argue with
And we haven't
Philly
lost
cohesion when
in
they're
months.
winning. It's when they start losing that things fall apart quick. But that's any team.
God.
No,
And I want to thank your owner, and I wish that he would just sell the Sixers, because the fact that he would not let the Sixers PR social media team shout out the Eagles for winning the NFC blows my mind.
Did you see him roll
was
up in his
so
car
mad.
to Lincoln Financial?
Good for him.
The warm
He needs-
welcome he was given.
I didn't know that.
we
Good for
hate
him.
him. We hate him. And now we just find out Jeffrey Lurie is in the market to buying the Boston Celtics.
Oh,
Great. Yeah, not happy. Continue,
Well,
Paul. Sorry
you
for
know why I'm
interruption.
proud of that move? Because I hate that the Empire State Building was green the other day for the Eagles.
I was
Like,
going to ask you about
why? Why? It's just
apparently
the
they do
stupidest thing
that
I've
every
ever seen
year
in my
for the
life.
two
Why
teams
not?
that make
Why?
the Super Bowl.
They do a. It's stupid. They should. I would never
They're
do it.
appreciating Barkley, unlike
You're
you.
my hell with that. It's my sworn enemy. I'll never cheer for you. I'll never root for you. I'll never want you to win anything.
But you'll root for Paul?
100%.
Hogs?
I would have. I would have rooted with them. Well, I would have rooted for the Chiefs in the Super
I
Bowl
thought
still.
you hated them more than you hate us.
Dude, Redskins?
Yeah.
I never hated the Redskins. I never had a problem with them.
I like it.
So
I don't even hate Dallas more than you. Like I said, I was telling Tommy this the other day. When I go tailgating, everybody hates Dallas. It's Dallas. And I tell them Philly, and they're like, "What?"
did you see the chants? Did you see the chants in the tailgate?
You guys got together
Yeah.
and said,
Dallas
"Yeah,
sucks.
sucks.
That
it
was,
wasn't
that was
Giants
awesome.
suck. It was Dallas
Sounds like a
sucks."
couple of teams that are trying to combine their Super Bowls to look good.
Yeah, from 1993.
Hey,
All right,
win's
so
a win, bud. You just
I'll,
said it yourself.
I'll
No matter who it's against or when.
so that we can get to halftime and welcome possibly a guest on the show. Go through a couple stats here. We'll start
digs.
off with this. That Tress Way, who is our trusty dusty punter, has more passing yards in a conference championship than Dak Prescott and Tony Romo combined in their entire careers.
I don't think
Dallas
that's.
sucks.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Dallas sucks.
The
At least we
Eagles
can
had
agree on
more
that.
rushing touchdowns
It's all that for Andy. for
than
rest
the
of this
Cowboys
last
had the
minute or two.
entire calendar season.
Yeah,
The entire 18
Dallas.
game season, they had 6. And we let the Eagles roll off a nice 7. So, and just to kind of put in your amazing coach hire. So, you're hiring Brian
Let's hear it.
Schottenheimer as coach without
Let's
even
hear it.
talking to Ben Johnson,
Who?
Aaron Glenn, or any of the top candidates is 1,000% the same as not calling Derrick Henry and then just signing Zeke. It's the exact same thing.
I heard he thought it was Marty and then realized Marty passed away.
Wow.
I don't have a lot to say.
Wow. I don't
And
blame
I
you.
mean, the last
We'll see
time,
what happens next year.
the last time that you hired
We got
a coach,
Eberflus.
last time you hired a coach that didn't have any kind of head coaching experience, and I forgot this name. Good gracious, Dave Campo went 15-33, rinse and repeat.
Wow. Can we get a quote from our boy?
Who, Jared?
What did he say
You gonna
today?
go here?
Yesterday when he was introducing the new coach. There's a very low percentage of smiles and glory holes, and then paused, and everyone looked at him like,
He's
"What
senile.
Do you think
are
he knew what that
talking
was?
about?"
It's the second time. Exactly
Sounds like
what I
Joe
said today.
Biden.
Now you're getting political. Way to go,
No,
Randy.
no, I'm just saying. It just sounds like him.
And that's the guy running your team, dude.
Hey,
And he's
I
also
can't
in
sit here and
charge of
say.
deciding who's running the team. And
Exactly.
if somebody gets power of attorney,
And that's
Yeah,
why
you're
I
screwed.
feel like I don't have the worst chances of being better next year.
And then his son, when he was
Feels
like, the
pretty
media
good.
was questioning him, like, "Hey, listen, when are you going to return to glory?" Blah 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 blah. Stephen Jones says, "What are you talking about? We're a pretty good damn team. We're there. We're inches away or something.
we're going to
like that."
win
No.
quickly.
Yeah,
No,
And they
that
were
was
like,
Schottenheimer
We're
said
set
that.
up. We're set up to win quickly.
No, Stephen Jones said sort of the similar thing, and then said, "Why are you questioning us? We're America's team.
It's
We're
true.
never going.
You should
anywhere."
not question us. We are America's team.
You got to win a playoff game sooner or later, though, right?
Playoffs.
I don't know. I mean, you might say that, but if you're the most valuable sports franchise in the world, do you really need to win a playoff game?
What do you want?
Oh, I'd love to win a playoff game, but I also love
But
the
as
fact
a
that
fan, don't you?
my team,
Like,
out of all 4 of the teams sitting here, my team is the least likely to get kicked out of their city. I'll tell you that.
You don't even
kicked out
play
of
in
their
Dallas.
city. What are you talking about?
We are the Dallas Cowboys. I know we play in Arlington, but we are the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
we are
so
the most
don't ever get
valuable
on me
sports
about New Jersey
franchise in the
ever
world.
again.
All I'm saying is all your teams are less valuable than mine.
Fair.
Whatever.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but
So,
how does that
in the
sound?
end of
my
it,
money.
How have you
How-
personally benefited
Hey,
from that?
Does that make
all
you
I
feel
know
good that you
is
work
probably
for us?
for the next 30 years, I can be a Dallas Cowboys fan. You can be I can see it becoming like a Charleston, West Virginia Eagles or something. I mean, you guys are
Yeah, that's
backwoods
really
enough; it
gonna
could happen. Or maybe like New York Jets will finally get some balls and kick you guys out.
They
You'll be
own
the-
that stuff. They can't
you'll
kick
be-
us
you'll-
out.
no,
They're little
I'm
brother,
just-
yo.
I guess when your team's that bad, that's what you grasp to. Like, oh, we're worth more
You
than
might
you.
be in the Super Bowl,
That's
Greg, but
true.
we're worth
Like-
more than you.
It's-
I'd rather say I got
Hey.
4 Super Bowls.
Say what you want, but if you're an owner or if you're, I don't know, an investor or whatever you are, you'd rather own Dallas Cowboys than anyone else.
All right, that
All
team's
right.
got a
That
lot
was
to do.
that wasn't
Well,
even
there's
my
that
vote.
dunk
That
shit
was
again.
that was
That was
just
the second half.
That's
Yeah, that's something you would expect some uneducated take that an Eagles fan would say.
Oh, stop.
Let's take a break and we'll be back in the second half. Welcome a guest and make our last picks of the year.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Welcome back, everybody. In the
Mike.
second half, we are looking forward to the Super Bowl, where we're going to have Greg's Philadelphia Eagles representing the NFC East podcast going against the Kansas
sir.
City Chiefs. You guys are 1.5-point underdogs. Before we get into our picks for the Super Bowl and our final picks for the internal competition, I want to welcome a guest. We got Matt. He is a legend of the show at this point. He's hosted a couple different things. He is the Celtics representative on the basketball podcast that is going to start shooting again tomorrow night. Episodes coming to you soon. Matt was also the internal competition champion of that show, which means that he gets to join the upcoming special content episode along with Greg and Lewis and who am I missing here? Greg and Lewis and Chris.
Chris.
Damn, Chris. Let's forget about Chris, the original internal competition champion.
That's because it came with the biggest asterisk.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, you guys don't know nothing about this.
In the
It was
winner
decided
circle,
today
baby.
that you're going to get double trouble. Me and Paul Douglas, P. Diddy, coming at you strong as dual co-hosts for that thing. So we're going to get some things lined up to make sure that it's not easy on the champions in the champions episode.
Paul's my favorite.
By the way, Paul hates you, Chris.
But let's get Matt in here. What'd you think? You got anything about the season in general or about these guys in general you want to get at tonight?
I do. I have a couple of questions I'd like to revisit or things I'd like to go back to from when I was privileged to host. And I would like to pick your brain on some of the topics that we were talking about on the college rotating pod, because I feel like there was a lot of hurt feelings after last week's games. So I want to go through that.
You're not going to pick any winners if you're going to call on Randy.
Well, I wanted to start with, I wanted to ask Randy. Randy, I remember saying that Dallas had an ability to poop their pants at home, and then they went 2-7 this year at home. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, they basically went 2-7 at home and 4 wins on the road. Like again, the whole year was garbage. It wasn't just poop. It wasn't just the home poop. They pooped everywhere, and they left that little poop thing you got in your lap everywhere they went. Again, it is not so. Like if the Dallas would have had even a 500,
that's got to be the episode name. Poop.
I don't know. I still stick to the fact that
Super Bowl.
I thought the same thing early on last year, that Dallas seemed like they were not playing it at home. And Greg, I think you're the one who pointed out they actually were playing it at home last year. This year, they're just not playing it anywhere. So I know.
I rewatched episode 1 earlier in the week and thought it was pretty funny. Randy's draft analysis was, well, we're good. We don't need to draft anybody.
Didn't he compare it to like a fantasy football team?
Young Jerry.
A lot of injuries.
Well, that's why you got to draft.
The injuries.
Hey! I said that last year and this year, but I wasn't allowed. Shut up.
No.
Well, you think they were just allowing me to say that? They all were like, no, that doesn't count.
I'm just reminding you that it doesn't count.
I'm just reminding you. They just told me it doesn't count either. So why do you even bring it up?
Because I just wanted to remind you.
All right.
Let me help you boys out, because the next segue I had was, Paul, I want to talk to you because I do remember distinctly jumping on the Commanders bandwagon. Now, I'm not here to talk about the Commanders. I'm here to talk about your son's phone etiquette, because I have tried texting and calling your son to congratulate him on all these wins along the way. That man does not know how to respond.
It's a young man's
what are
thing.
your thoughts on that?
They don't answer text.
Yeah, he actually takes after quite a few of you in different ways that I'm looking at. So some of that affects the memory a bit, but I can do my best to rectify that situation. He also has done me no favors as well when he comes on these different podcasts and blasts Daddy-O.
He did blast you pretty good last week.
The way I watch or may not watch, I'll tell you this: a guy I work with.
He's definitely your son, brother.
A guy I work with was trying to watch the game on Sunday. He had to go to the ER because of his blood pressure after watching the game. So it's not just me.
Wow.
It's freaking intense, unbelievably intense here. So, yeah.
I mean, you did give up 55 points.
Well, and we should have laid 55 points on the Lions too. We left a ton of points out there, for sure. And
next year, Greg,
what's going to happen next year?
You're going to be better.
Either way, Matt. I guess he's not number one anymore. How about that?
Okay. Hey, it's probably why I never hit a home run. So there's that.
Good call.
Not very
and
athletic.
the other one hit a home run while
I
on the
can
pond.
say that
Just,
the
you
only
know,
way
that's
you can get a
huge.
hold
Yeah.
of any of the Douglas boys is through Mama Bear, Mrs. Douglas, and it's been that way for 30 years. Paul hasn't been allowed to have an unsupervised phone call since he was like 18.
Who's he been calling Miss
What?
Cleo? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Paul hasn't been allowed to have
an unsupervised phone call since he was 18.
Dude, it's probably why he's such an ornery, grouchy old man now. That totally makes sense.
Paul, you got to.
It has
why?
nothing to do with being forced into camaraderie with you. Nothing.
The last thing I wanted to ask about, Mike, you've been a part of the college rotating redheaded stepchild, whatever we call it. So, with that said, feel free to jump in because you were a part of these conversations. However, what is everybody's obsession with Josh Allen? What has this guy done that makes him so elite and amazing?
only
And yet
one
there's
with an
guys that have
obsession with him, I
resumes
guess.
better than him, and I never hear a word about him. Why?
Okay, hold on. What resume are you talking about?
Every time I hear Josh Allen is the
name me
mean
another
darling.
player on that team right now.
Who on the Bills?
Yes.
Matt Collins, baby.
Okay.
No,
Not
Bill
you.
from Idaho. I
Not
don't
you.
know.
Cargill.
There's enough. He makes
Cook,
the
the running
playoffs
back,
every year.
the Dalvin
Every
Cook's
year he
brother.
makes the playoffs. Every year.
And
So-
Mary,
so
There's
Amari
no one
Cooper.
else on that team.
Say Devin Singletary.
Paul nailed it 2 weeks ago. Dude, he don't have the supporting cast like anybody else.
Well, that's
and he's
a GM problem. That's
Yeah,
not
but
a
it ain't
Greg
Josh
problem.
Allen.
He's
But
still
you're
not
asking-
problem.
you're
asking
well.
Look at you.
why
You
Josh
got the
Allen's
greatest
resume.
lineup in the NFL.
You're
and your
asking
quarterback
what makes
sucks.
Josh Allen's resume so good. I mean, Mike drop, bud. That's what makes Josh Allen's resume so good. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look at the talent around him, and he consistently beats Lamar Jackson. Like, he is
In the
unreal.
playoffs.
Kansas City is the best defense. Besides the Eagles in the league. Yes, they're
They're the
incredible.
best coach in
He
the
always
league.
loses to them. If it wasn't for them,
Eagles didn't
he would probably
appreciate
have
him.
2 Super Bowls right now.
But this is where I get confused, Randy, because you did just say all that, but everything that you just said, nobody said at all leading up to last week. Nobody was like, "Oh, the Bills are shorthanded. Oh man, look at
Paul
what
did.
Josh Allen's done." All I hear is, "This
Paul
guy
did.
should be MVP. He's the best player."
Paul said
Why?
that. Paul said that.
Yeah.
Paul said, look at his numbers and look at Lamar Jackson's numbers. Lamar Jackson's numbers were a little bit better, but he's got a stacked team. He's got like 9 or 10 Pro Bowlers.
No,
and Josh Allen's
the easy
It's the whole thing I've been saying all along.
The easy
some
synopsis
quarterbacks pull a
is-
team. Some quarterbacks get pulled by their team, like Jalen Hurts.
the easy
Some
synopsis
get
of that,
pulled
Matt,
down by their team like Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones absolutely got pulled down by that team a lot.
No. He pulled the team down.
No, he got.
He pulled the team down.
Daniel Jones is a
Pulled
type
the
of
team
quarterback
down.
that needs a supporting cast.
How the hell are we talking about Daniel Jones? Nobody gives a
'Cause
rat's
that-
ass about
because
this
he
man.
lives
Stop talking about it.
Because he
I
lives
don't care
rent
about
free in
anybody
every
that
one of
sets
these
the
guys'
unemployment
heads.
office. No.
And then I defend him, and then they get all upset.
No, I kind of agree with Matt because you don't hear the downside to
that's for you,
Josh
Matt.
Allen. You don't see the downside to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has talent. What, are you trying to tell me that
That
Cincinnati
team
Bengals?
absolutely sucked, and he put up MVP
Yeah.
numbers this year.
Hold on.
But that team around him is not horrible. Those
I mean, they got-
receivers are.
I would love
They're
to have.
great.
I wish the
Exactly.
Giants-
That's
I
kind
heard.
of my
I
point.
heard. Listen, Paul, did
But
you hear
all
that?
we
Hold on,
never
real
hear
quick.
anything negative
Hold
about Burrow or Josh Allen. Everything negatives about Lamar or Jalen Hurts
Or Daniel Jones.
I base
Herbert.
all my
Daniel Jones.
I would take Josh Allen.
See, now you guys are honestly
I
seeing
would
what
take
I've been
Josh
saying.
Allen or Joe Burrow over any of the guys
I
you just
base a
listed.
lot of my
100%.
thoughts
Hands down.
on fantasy
I would too.
production. And Josh Allen every year is one of the best quarterbacks you can get in fantasy. He's
True.
a beast when it comes to stats. He puts up numbers like not too many other quarterbacks. He's as good as anybody.
Yep.
Kind of like how Jalen Brunson was on the Knicks last year. Didn't
Oh
have
my God.
anybody else.
He was a
that
great
he could do
fantasy
it.
player. Yeah, he
Just
was.
like
I just
him.
wanted to bring that
Chris,
up. I just wanted to
that's
bring
the
that
same
up.
thing. It's about
I know,
usage.
but you
And
said it
Josh Allen
because-
is getting Brunson kind of usage. You're absolutely
Tons of
right in that
usage.
analysis.
But if that's all you got to stop, if
Well,
that's all you
can't
got to
win the
stop,
big
stop
game.
him. Well,
No.
he didn't. He didn't. He's running into Matt, you said it. How many guys? Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. Karl Malone. No, he didn't win with the Lakers, did he? Or did he end
No.
up winning one with the Lakers?
No, he and Peyton just blew
There,
it.
there is tons and tons of NBA Hall of Famers that don't have rings because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Barkley.
maybe That's what Pat Mahomes is going to be. He's going to be that guy. But I do think Josh Allen will get one. And
I don't know.
I think my confusion comes from like, you know, when you hear the pundits and the scholars of football talk about, and they always say like Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks, top 2 of all time.
They laughed at me for saying that 2-3 weeks ago.
I look and I go, this guy won one
I would.
championship. How the hell is he one of the greatest? How does he go past Elway and Montana
Like,
and all these other guys?
listen, as Trey, one of our other panelists who needs to get his ass on here, he will tell you, and he actually sticks up for McCarthy a little bit, but he says every time, look at some of the years Aaron Rodgers had. 45 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, like
He's
MVP.
a Packers fan, Chris. What do you think he's going to do?
But what was the problem? Their defense was absolutely horrible. They had the worst defenses in the league those years, and they lost in the playoffs because defense wins championships. So, like, that's what held Aaron Rodgers back. I mean,
so let me go around right now. If you had the option, each of you, obviously you have a pick or coming up, whatever, Topher, but your current quarterback or Josh Allen, which path would you choose?
Josh Allen.
I think everybody on the panel will take Josh Allen.
I don't know about him. I don't know
I
about
would say where Josh Allen is on his body, I think I'd rather take Jaden Daniels right now.
Yeah, because you don't know. Jaden Daniels did that in his rookie year.
But again,
his ceiling is so freaking high.
Should we go over the teams he did that against?
I understand, but it was his rookie year. And he
Just
did
saying.
beat the Lions.
Hey, Greg,
The Lions were toasted all year long.
Greg, I remember a wise man saying earlier today, we beat the teams we had to beat.
This is true. Next year, they're going to have a tougher schedule.
They are.
And they're going to have 18 games of film on
So
him.
all I'm
so
saying
I'll be
is
curious to
you
see
need
how
a
it goes
pile,
next year.
And there
you need
is
a pile of match doo-doo on that one, bud.
But listen, if he turns around and does what Stroud did this year and goes to the playoffs again and loses in the first or second round, that's not bad for your first 2 years in the NFL.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, it still has a remarkable resemblance to a Washington quarterback. About 10 years ago. Shut up, Paul. Still is a very remarkable. Again.
Hence,
you can say that about Hurts or Lamar or anybody, though. All these running backs are taking a risk with their careers every time they take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this year, this time last year, who was going to be the quarterback? Don't make fun of it. Who was going to be the QB that was going to be unbelievable next year? Who was the guy this time last year?
Whoever the Giants draft.
Stop.
No.
Stroud.
No.
Hey, you don't know?
Stroud.
You
In
don't
the
know?
NFL,
You
CJ Stroud. Did he get hurt? No. Again, it is really tough to have a quarterback QB that consistently has a good year as a rookie year. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is bad. I'm not saying I think he's really good, but just be careful.
Well, I mean, we're also 2 years removed from people wondering if Josh Allen is permanently broken.
Sure.
His decision-making, interceptions, and fumbles. Like 2 years ago.
Dude, his second year in the league, they were trying to run him out of Buffalo.
Yeah, his seat was pretty hot.
Brian Dable.
He's turned into the Rudy Baker or whatever of the NFL for me. So.
All right, let's get closer to landing this plane. We got to get some picks before we get out of here. Randy, you said you had a secret strategy that you wanted to save for us, so give it to us.
So, I just realized that if I pick the same as Greg, I would win no matter what. Because even if I'm ahead of him by 3 points.
You do have a brain.
I have 5. So if I would wait till after Greg goes, I can just pick what he picks. My 5 points, if I win, I would beat him. I think he's going to pick the Eagles. So anyway, whatever. All that being said is I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick first.
You are a collection of all of the characters.
You said all that just to pick first anyway?
I did.
I wanted of all the characters from the Wizard of Oz.
You just wasted a minute and a half of the podcast.
I wanted to let you know how
incredibly
smart I am. I wanted to let you know how incredibly smart I am. Just to go first, I'm taking Kansas City. My pick from the beginning. No one's beating Mahomes.
And it was dumb.
I know. That's what you're going to
Greg,
say.
do you want to explain or do you want me
What do you
to?
win? Right pick. It's fine. Randy even said it. And
Randy,
still
if you had picked the
I know.
Eagles, you would have been guaranteed a championship.
I know.
because
I know.
no
But
matter
now
what
when I
Greg
win,
picked,
you guys
even if
are going
Greg
to
could
really
also
say,
pick
wow,
the
this guy
Eagles,
is
you would have
friggin'
won.
brilliant.
You would have won no matter
I
what
like it,
if you had
Randy.
just picked the Eagles.
That's what I just explained to you guys. I know.
Randy.
However,
I like it. High five,
thank
Randy.
you. Thank you.
What are we high fiving? What do you get? Is this an in-season tournament banner? What is
confidence
this?
pool championship?
Listen, you guys
If
have
Randy
did
wins
this
this, he
last
won
year,
it
and
both years.
You
It's
guys have
important to
all your
Randy
internal
because he has
championships.
won all. Tell us why.
Tell us why, Randy. Tell
I
us
have
why,
won
Randy.
all the skill-based competitions in this league so far,
This
which
is the only
actually takes
skill-based
skills to pick.
competition in the entire class and conference
Yes,
podcast.
you guys have your little championships for your lucky draws. I have mine off of skill. And guess what?
And who introduced it to the podcast?
Who introduced? I think you. Listen, it's not important right now. What is important is that you guys
I
have
just
your
want to give
little
myself
own
a
little
pat on the back. I gotta give every
Listen,
win I can get.
you guys have your own little podcast to celebrate your
Till tomorrow
championships.
night.
But the producer looked at me that I'm so special that he just didn't even. It's just me. Just
no
me.
one questions how special
So
you
you're
are.
taking Kansas City with
He's got a 5
No,
left. So Greg, you're up. You
5.
got
A
1
5.
point left to spend it on. Who you want to spend it on?
I got,
Of course,
the
He
Eagles.
can get 6 points, though.
he can get 6, but he
get
can't
6
catch
points,
Randy.
though. But he can't get 6.
So if Greg wins, is he like a Golden Star champion?
That's right. The
Okay.
man. The myth, the
Or
legend.
hold on, actually, no. Am I wrong?
Chris,
No,
Greg
Greg
could
catch
win
me.
now
I
that
can
Randy
win
messed up.
if
You're
the
right.
Eagles win.
Way to go, Randy.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
didn't mess up.
Chris,
He's-
who are you going to take now that you're in last place and you
Who,
have
me?
zero chance
No,
to
I
win
don't-
anything?
Was
Kansas
that a
City.
surprise to you, Greg?
Oh.
Were you expecting anything different than a Greg for him to pick against the Eagles?
There's only
And you
one
know- and-
surprise.
and-
There's
and
only
you know
one
what?
surprise
And you know
here.
what, Greg? You're absolutely wrong. I do win something. I get to see you be sad
Oh.
Tuesday.
You get to see
after
my
the
team.
podcast.
Get to see my team in 2 Super Bowls in 3 years while you
And-
guys can't even sniff anything in the NFC East.
And like I said,
3 years ago we made a
4-1
playoff game, and then we got blown
4-1.
out by the Eagles the next round.
and we had nobody.
Oh,
But
here we
Daniel
go.
Jones.
Let me
Daniel
guess,
Jones
your
carried
offensive
that
line
team.
was hurt. They've been hurt for 3 years.
All we had was
When are you
Daniel
going to get a
Jones.
new
That was
offensive
it.
line?
You
better.
can't afford an
It's better
offensive
right now.
line
I know.
because you got to pay.
We can't
you
lose
gotta pay
Andy
running
Thomas.
back or something like that.
Or you still got to pay your
No.
quarterback that you don't even have on your team anymore.
Nah, we made out really good on that, unlike the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We got out of our deal. Cowboys were stuck with a $60 million contract and a quarterback that sucks.
I wouldn't say got out. You paid
All right,
$50 million to get out of that
We
contract.
got
like
one more pick
22
before you can
million.
get
It's
into
not
too
my
much
money.
Daniel
It's dead
Jones,
money,
Daniel
dude.
Jones ending
Don't
dumb
mean
shit,
nothing.
Paul. What do you got for us in the Super
His
Bowl,
contract
Paul?
is about as worth as much as that.
KC
football
at
match
7.
left.
I lose my last number 7, which won't matter. It'll just be for
Man, you all take
moral
KC.
victory. But yeah,
Because we all know they're
Definitely
going
Kansas
to
City.
win. Matt, who you got?
that'll be a
Birds.
12-point pick.
I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'll hedge my sides on. So I would say I'll pick KC, but I would like to see Philly win.
You know what
There
we
you go.
call that? We call that a waffle.
Waffler.
There's no waffling on this podcast.
You got a waffle emoji
There's
on your lap?
this place is a friggin' IHOP. It's got so many waffles. What are you talking about? There's no way. Waffle House would have been a better one. I know. Never mind.
I don't really
Greg,
know.
I'm
Sure.
riding with you. I think the Eagles can do it. I've been riding since. I've
Of course
followed
you
the
are.
Eagles
You
since the
are
beginning.
a
So
undercover Eagles fan. When's it?
Our D's stepping up. Let's go.
That
By the
big
way,
D.
real quick, I have one fact real quick I want to throw out there. Was thinking about this and just kind of throwing this out there. Do you know on February 9th, it is Saquon Barkley's birthday? Also, did you know that it's Cooper DeJean's birthday? Now, if you take Barkley's jersey number 26 and you add DeJean's jersey number 33, what do you get? 59. What Super Bowl are we playing this year? 59.
it's a lot.
Wow, that was
It's a
some
lot.
random numbers.
That's that dumb
It's a
shit.
lock.
That was
saw
some
something
random numbers.
today about how, like,
Lock it.
yeah, it was some crazy stuff, but it had the Chiefs winning. So I see
So
the
wait,
other
wait,
way.
Greg, if your team wins, what are your plans? Because it seems notorious that nobody goes to parades.
You know,
in this
you know what,
podcast.
Greg? You know what Greg is going to do?
I'll be
Him and
there.
those Phillies fans are going to burn that city to the ground.
No, we're
Yeah.
not.
Either way.
Yes, they will level it, and
Either way.
hopefully, finally, there won't be a
there is
city
no
left to even
question
think
in
about.
Yeah,
Greg's
Paul,
fandom.
crap on
He's
your
been
lap,
out
he'll
there
go
in
eat
all
some of
these
that.
games and the terrible weather with Kyle and Jim and all those other guys. They're real fans.
He don't go to every game.
He's been to the past 4
He
or
don't
5.
go to
I
every
think.
game.
Been the past couple in a row.
No, he didn't go last
I
week.
split season tickets.
You weren't there last week,
I was not there last week,
and you weren't there
that
for the
is-
Rams game.
I was there for the Rams game.
Oh,
I
you
was
weren't
there for the
Packers game.
Yeah, I have a story. We'll tell you guys later. It's a long story. Steven knows. I made a bad
Well,
decision.
you're
I have no
out of the
loyalty.
Eagles jail,
I made a
so it
family
couldn't have been that bad.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, we are getting out of here. Thank you all for watching and listening. Please check out the clashingconferences.com. We will be back soon with a internal competition champion and a Super Bowl champion. See y'all soon.
Thanks for stopping by, Mike. Matt, thank you.
Thanks
See
for
ya.
having me.
Yep.